Good morning, students. Welcome to day 7 of distance learning. Today our key word is proportion. In math, two equal fractions or ratios form a proportion. Keep in mind we use cross products and we set up an equation and use inverse operations to solve for the variable. Our diet also consists of proportions, how much of each thing we should eat to stay healthy. Our learning target is I will determine the total daily value, how much we can have, from a nutrition label using a proportion. Who uses this? Nutritionists use this. Their average salary is almost $60,000. They offer education on what people should eat and what their body needs. They also collect data and they devise a plan for people to eat. All right, this is a small bag or 1.5 ounce, 42 grams. A gram is about a paper clip, bag of Cheez-Its. It contains 14% of the daily value, which is 11 grams of fat. We would like to know how many grams of fat can we have a day, or what is the total daily allowance or value. A good way to start this problem would be to build a diagram to help us understand about where our answer should be. So make an estimate. So we're going to try and count by 14s until we get close to 100%. And after 7 groups of 14, we get to 98%, which is almost 100%. And then we look at the number of grams. 7 groups of 11 grams would be 77 grams. So we should know that our answer is going to be more than 77, but not much because 98 is very close to 100%. One of the better methods to solve this problem would be to set up a proportion. In this case, we're going to use a ratio box that we looked at the other day. So, when we look at the words, it contains 14% or 11 grams of the total daily allowance. Keep in mind, total is always going to be 100%, so this is key. How many grams of fat can we have in a day, or what is the total daily allowance or value? How much can we have? So the first thing we're going to do is fill out a ratio box. Well, we know the percentages are usually where I like to start. We know it's 14% is the part, and 100% is the total. 100% is always the total. Then we see that there are 11 grams, which is the part, and we don't know the total, so we're going to call it X. Using this ratio box, we can set up a proportion. Equals 14% out of 100%. Again, part whole. Then we're going to use our cross products. 11 times 100 is equal to 14 times X, or 1100 equals 14X. We see multiplication, so we're going to do division. And when we divide, we get 78.6 approximately, which is equal to X. And when we put it back in, you would see that 78.6, our cross products would be almost the same. The only reason it's not going to be the same is that this number was rounded or estimated. Okay, now we're going to look at carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are things such as sugars and fats that give us energy. The Cheetos bag contains 9% or 24 grams of the total daily allowance. Again, the total is always going to be 100. How many grams of carbohydrate can we have in a day? The first step is to complete our ratio box. What percent were we given? The part or the whole? Well, we were always given the whole, so the part we were given is 9, which is 24 grams, so that's also going to be the part. We do not know the whole, so now we need to set up a proportion. What equation can we write? Now that we wrote an equation, what inverse operation would we use to solve it? Great, there would be approximately 266.6 repeating grams of carbohydrate that we can have in a given day. Does our answer make sense? One thing you might do to check your work is think, well, if 10% is approximately 24 grams, then 100% would be 10 times bigger, or approximately 240 grams. So in this case, our answer is very close, and we can feel fairly confident that our work is correct.